So the album's called Giving Up and Getting Worse. So
This is going to be the soundtrack of my summer. Speaking of Joey and speaking of you and Sundog Records, there's an EP coming this month.
Yeah, I really should talk about the EP you brought up a minute ago.
Hell yeah, let's get on the EP train.
All right.
Number one, what's it called? Who's it by? And where? When's it coming out?
I'm gonna give you the secret lowdown.
Okay.
Because I think this episode's gonna release, if not after the EP's already dropped, so I can freely talk about it.
It will be after the EP.
Yeah. So the EP is a project that Joey and I are currently working on, where we are trying to release different albums, or strictly EPs, so under like 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Or 25 minutes or whatever it's supposed to be. But I usually just say 30 because it makes more sense to round it off. But the concept with these EPs, and this is just the first one of a couple we'd like to do, is to write in different styles or genres, basically making a caricature of different artists that we really like.
Oh, nice.
So this first one is called The Mole Men of Philadelphia. I'd say it's probably closest to, I don't know, it has some like singer-songwriter on. It has some like garage rock kind of sounds on it. There's just a lot going on in one release. I really like it for only 4 songs. I think each one feels a little bit unique from one to the next. I'm a pretty big fan of it.
Nice.
For our first album of the year, I think it's a good release. Catch Me on the Last track, Frederick the Pirate, where I'm doing vocals for the entire verses. Now, mind you, I'm not much of a singer,
right?
So I just didn't, and I just monologued for the entire verses. And I'm super excited to play these songs live. Mm-hmm. Because that's my goal with this EP project and like imitating bands and everything. Because each EP is going to be named as if it's a band name.
Yeah.
So instead of an album name, unless we do a sequel to one, I don't know about what all we'll do yet. The first one's called The Mole Men of Philadelphia. Yep. We have that one finished, recorded, mastered, ready to be released on March 18th. If it's not already out, feel free to check it out.
Hell
if it is already out, why aren't you listening to it now?
Send me some links. I'll put it in the description.
Heck yeah. So the concept behind what we're trying to do for the rest of the year is we're trying to keep doing this.
Okay.
We have this like garage rock kind of sound that we started with the first one, but by the second album, we've already decided it's going to be a band called Capital Grass.
Oh yeah.
Which is a very let's say like a very hippie band. Like your Grateful Dead, your Bob Dylan kind of a thing. And it's going to be parroting those kind of styles. A little bit of bluegrass, a little bit like psychedelic rock, and everything it kind of meets in the middle between those two.
Nice.
The third one, which is still very much in the planning stage, we only had one session really writing with it, so it's not like it's everything's set in stone with what we want it to be, is a guided meditation album. This is my idea. I have a list on Google Docs of hundreds upon hundreds of ideas that I just have. Like it's 3 a.m. I'm at work. I'm like sweeping my area clean so I can go home soon. I'm like, man, I have a really good idea, and I can just whip out my phone and write it down right now. And like, you just play with it in your mind,
right?
So this guided meditation album is the opposite of the purpose of guided meditation. If you've ever looked at guided meditation, it's generally about like self-love, self-help, trying to get better, trying to understand yourself more. And I wanted an album that did the opposite of that. So the album's called Giving Up and Getting Worse. So
this is going to be the soundtrack of my summer. I can't wait. Giving Up and Getting Worse by Joey and the Nippz and Nate Makes Noise. Now, is that how you're releasing it as?
Everything so far, yeah.
Okay.
It's just been a joint release. It's very difficult with DistroKid because you have 2 options with DistroKid. It's just one artist or multiple. And that's fine usually. But whenever you say this is one artist and your artist is Joey and the Nippz, and it's like, okay, that's one artist. But whenever you say multiple and you have to split it up with an and, it thinks there's 3 artists on the tracks when it says Joey and the Nippz and Nate Makes Noise. So it's kind of confused, and we have to send an email to DistroKid every time and be like, Hey, I know you love hearing from us. We're having this issue again, and they're so helpful. They get back almost right away. Like, I think Joey messaged them a day went by, I think, and that's all it was before they were like, "Yep, we got it all fixed out, like, for you. We just went in with the administrator tools, and
Oh, wow.
It's handled. You're good to go."
So just so I'm clear, and probably everyone else is clear, but if they're not, so it's and this is gonna be a cool graphic. It's literally Joey and the Nippz, Nate Make Noise, under the umbrella of Sundog Records.
Mm.
Cool, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. And then every band that exists there is just kind of like a duplicate of what we're doing at the time,
Gotcha.